Okay, lift this lever, then I rotate the axle 90 degrees, and then... I get stuck there every time. I'm never gonna finish this in time for the science fair. Why can't I remember?
Now, don't get down on yourself. You're great at science. You'll get there.
Just don't know why I keep forgetting that sequence. I read the textbook yesterday. I should get this.
There. That should do it.
You fixed it already? You didn't even open the repair manual.
Didn't need to. I've been working with wires a long time. Simple fixes come naturally to me now.
Lucky. You've always been an electric genius.
Not quite. When I got my first toolbox, I couldn't tell you which end of a hammer to use. And when I started tinkering with fuses and machines, I wore out my instruction manual from flipping through it so many times.
I've never seen you bring a repair manual with you before.
I used to bring it everywhere. Must have read it 100 times.
Then why don't you ever use it now? Did you memorize the whole thing?
I never thought about it that way, but yeah, I guess I did. In pieces over time.
Wow. How long would you think it would take for me to memorize this textbook? I bet I could get it done in 3 days if I give up sleep.
Whoa, slow down there, kiddo. Speed memorizing might not work out as well as you think it will.
Well, if you can do it, why can't I?
Well, you can do it. I'm just saying there are better ways. Ways that'll make the info stick with you longer.
Better ways than marathon studying? If you say so.
I never set out to memorize the repair manual. I just wanted to fix things. I needed the book to show me how. And after a while, I'd used the same instructions so much that I didn't need to look them up anymore. Using the instructions to do my work is what made them stick up here.
So I'm going to need to build 1,000 more robots before I don't need the textbook anymore?
Maybe not 1,000, but a few.
Figures.
It's a lot like what we learned last Sunday. Remember? When Captain talked about Bible verses?
The Bible can show me how to build a robot? Never mind.
So, Captain preached about memorizing Bible verses and how they help us remember how Christians should live.
I remember that.
Do you remember the verse he used? Well, it was Psalm 119:11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. Who is the psalm writer talking to in that verse?
To God?
That's right. And what do you think it means?
Does it mean that remembering the Bible helps us not to sin and do bad things?
That's right. When people around us are sinning, it can sometimes be hard to remember why we shouldn't join in. But if we remember that James 4:7 says, submit to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you, then we know that we can push sin away and be faithful. When people around us are hurting, we don't always know what to say. But when we remember verses like Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through him who strengthens me, we can remind them and ourselves that God is helping us face our troubles.
Whoa. How long did you have to study before you could remember all those verses?
Well, I studied a lot, but it was much more than reading. I memorized them over time by using them in my everyday life.
Kinda like that repair manual?
Exactly. When you use the Bible, it becomes much more than a book. It becomes part of the way you talk. I wasn't trying to memorize scripture just to know the words. I was doing it so I could get better at living my life, at encouraging people, comforting people, and resisting sin. And I used the Bible so often that eventually I remembered whole chunks of it.
So it wasn't about knowing the words. It was about knowing what they mean.
That's right. Using the words is what made me remember. And remembering the words is what makes me useful to other people.
Wow.
There. I think that's everything. So, you want to take another stab at that model?
I think so. But let me keep the textbook close by this time.